Luke Skywalker. In a brave attempt to rescue Princess Leia Organa, Luke Skywalker disguises himself as an Imperial stormtrooper and infiltrates the detention center of the Death Star. Hello and welcome to Centaurian's Corner, and today we are reviewing Luke Skywalker Death Star Escape. Now, or it's Luke Skywalker in a stormtrooper disguise, or Luke Skywalker from the trash compactor. This is the second Luke that's come out with kind of like the removable sort of stormtrooper disguise helmet and whatnot, and it was in the sort of the blue or the orange packaging. They haven't re-released it in this kind of like normal packaging, so hopefully further down the line they might actually bring it out as an archive line, which would be nice. So with this, I struck a deal. I swapped some old 3.75 figures to DIY Star Wars dioramas on Instagram, and instead of just exchanging money, he bought me some figures for them, so we just done an exchange. So this guy costs $14.99 on Star Action Toys at the moment, which to be honest I think is a bit of a bargain. I think our American cousins over there, they got them for even more of a bargain, because he did go for about $5.99 in Targets, which he is another exclusive. There's so many exclusives out there, but I suppose this is how they can broaden out the range of Star Wars figures. Otherwise they're quite restricted, just doing 6 a season. So here he is in his kind of sort of main packaging. We've got Luke down here. It kind of looks like Mark Hamill in a sort of weird photo shoot kind of way. You know, like his face looks like him, but it looks a little bit too washy and it looks a bit girly. But down here I've got like a sticker, and it's very sort of, we've got a lot of European sort of lingo over it, so which is a bit odd for a Black Series figure. On the side, obviously it's an exclusive. This side we've got Luke Sky written in the black and Luke Skywalker, and then on the back we've got his bio and the pencil drawing again. And so without further ado, let's crack this bad boy open. Right, so you're standing in his blister pack, and there's no extra accessories really that you can see, apart from we've got another stand. Now I don't mind getting these stands, but unfortunately they're not the best thing out there, but I take a free stand rather than nothing at all, so yeah, I don't mind them. We've got his little comm link up here, and we've got his helmet, and obviously his E11. So we just get him out of the box, have a first impressions over it, and then I'll take them away, take some pictures, and then I'll come back for a review a bit later. I don't think his face is that bad, what a lot of people have been saying. Oh, actually maybe this side looks a bit strange. Kind of like this angle upwards, it looks alright. But yeah, it just looks, it's got all these extra bits on there as well. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I'll take them away for a review, and we'll see you guys in a mo. Hello, so welcome back. I've been away taking some photos, and I have to say Master Skywalker isn't too bad. Like all Black Series, they have a little black spot that they're not very good at, but in all he's just a standard stormtrooper with a slightly different bit of sculpt, and his articulation's a little bit more hindered than a regular stormtrooper, but apart from that, you know, he does well. So he comes with like 4 accessories if you want to include his stand, but I don't, so he comes with 3 accessories. And yeah, so he's got his standard E11 blaster, and it's just painted, well, it's not painted, it's sculpted in black plastic, but he's got the little silver applicant on there. And yeah, it's just a standard E11, same old. And it fits into his hands just the same as a regular stormtrooper. Trigger on the finger, and yeah. But he's also got his holster, bit of a tight squeeze for the gun, but it fits in there nonetheless. And also on his belt he has the comlink. Very small, that's all I have to say about this. It is absolutely tiny. It's just a little white thing there. It could have done with a little silver blob just on the top there, just to highlight the speaker. But we've got like the little black kind of sort of circles around there to highlight the grip. And obviously it just fits into his hand, but however it is so small, it just kind of just fits in there. Doesn't really hold it, it kind of just sort of sits loosely in there and just rolls out. So if you're going to hold him with him holding it on the shelf, then make sure this guy is taped down in his stand, because that thing's just going to go flying. And it just clips into his belt, and it doesn't feel like a nice clip either. It's just sort of sitting in there. It's just kind of loose. It's just got enough grip on there just to hold it, and that's about it. It's a shame it hasn't got a peg as well on it, so just to give it that extra security. And then also it comes with his stormtrooper helmet, and you know, it's not too bad. You know, we can compare it to original stormtrooper here. It's a little bit more elonged, you know, at the front there compared to this guy, but when they're sort of standing behind each other, you're not really going to notice that sort of subtle difference there. But the helmet's painted well. You know, we've got this sort of big smudge mark on there, and then we've got the sort of blue marks, and then we've got the brow and all these extra little bits on there and the silver points. So it's not too bad. It looks a little bit tacky around on these parts, but you know, it's alright. It's passable. It's fine. The only thing I've got to say about the helmet though is that when it fits on his head, it feels like I've picked up another character's helmet and I'm trying to slide it over this Luke's head, because it just feels really tight and there's no click into place. It just feels like the helmet's expanding to move over the like is over his face. It just doesn't feel nice at all. So there will be paint rub eventually on this character, where you're just going to be pushing it down. And yeah, with that, he sort of suffers with this little hair bit sticking out the back as well, which kind of reminds me of the old He-Man movie where he's in the Hordak's kind of army, and he's got his hair flapping at the back. So yeah, but apart, you know, it's done fine. But his sort of badder parts is his articulation. So with the helmet on, he can look left, he can look right, and he can look up, and then he can look down. And then with the helmet off, doesn't look up as much as you would expect. It's just when the helmet's on, it just looks a little bit better. He can look down quite a lot though, and obviously he can do his left and he can do his right. And this is one of his sort of badder points really, his articulation on his shoulder bells. They just hit this kind of sort of like chest sort of shoulder strap here. So that's it. That's as far as his arms go up, unfortunately. That's his widest posture with his arms out. So yeah, they should have made it where this sort of slides over the top or slides underneath. So yeah, it's a bit of a letdown on there. But then we've got like just underneath his shoulder bell, we've got a swivel there. We've got an elbow joint that's more than 90 degrees. We've got rotation at the wrist, and then we've got the wrist hinge as well. We've got a rotation-ish slightly just here, not much. It's because we've got all this sort of like extra bits on the back here, which kind of hinder him, so he can't look down that much, and trying to look back is, you just got to get it in the right place to go over these sort of bits on his belt. But apart from that, he's all right. His legs come out this far. He's got the upper thigh rotation. His legs can go forward this far. They can go back this far. He's got a double jointed knee, and also his rocker and his pivot's a little bit annoying. So we've got this part here, but when you want to bend his feet, it's like you have to click them into place. It's not a nice fluent motion, unfortunately. So standing him up is a little bit of a pain, I'm not going to lie, because you can't just plonk him down and then you can't just sort of like, oh, I'll get him into that sort of part there. You literally just click him into place, and with a bit of skill you eventually get that little sweet point. And yeah, I mean, apart from that, it's not too bad. Maybe his sculpt lets him down a little bit, not 100% sure, but we'll go through it now. So his face, I think, as I said earlier, I just think from the right angle, you kind of get away with it. It does look like a bit of a wet, swept Mark Hamill, but just other areas, it just looks weird. I mean, here his nose, I suppose they had to sort of lower it down because obviously the helmet coming over, because I guarantee this is the same helmet that they used for the other Luke Skywalker. And yeah, just his nose is just a bit too short to his upper lip, and which gives him a sort of a weird look. I think he looks better from this side than he does that side, just my opinion. He's got his hair, you know, it's all sort of wet looking and swept back, which I think is not badly done. You know, we've got all this sort of marking over his armour, and obviously he's a lot shorter than a normal stormtrooper, but he's a lot wider than the other stormtroopers, so I guess he's making up for it. So yeah, his whole sort of chest piece here goes over the top of the underside here, but this is why it's wider. It's because this is the same size as a normal stormtrooper, so they widen this to get this sink down even more, so he can actually move over it. His belt is pretty cool because obviously we've got this comlink sort of clip on here, and then just around the back as well, we've got this part here, which is his kind of sort of like wire that he uses to escape over the chasm in the Death Star. So it's quite nice that they actually included that on there. It would have been nicer probably with a paint application or something, just to highlight the rope. And then going down to his sort of legs, just Stormtrooper with a bit of scuff, really. So if we put his helmet on, we can do a little size comparison to a standard TK sort of trooper. And as you can see, he's just that little bit wider at his waist and in his chest part, and he's also a little bit shorter than a standard Stormtrooper. So yeah, you know, it's pretty good, and it's $14.99 on most websites. Actually, I think he sort of fluctuates between 15 to 20, and you know, it's another sort of either an Imperial on the shelf as a mucky Stormtrooper, or Luke in the Stormtrooper disguise for your sort of dioramas and kind of other bits. So I think, to be honest, it's pretty much worth the money. I wouldn't pay over £20, I don't think. You know, I feel like you would be getting a little bit copped out for. But yeah, I mean, that's my review of Luke Death Star Escape in his Stormtrooper disguise. So yeah, on the shelf, highly recommend it. Action figure, recommend it. Just don't pay over the odds. And then obviously if you're a collector, then definitely pick him up because he's an exclusive from Target. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.